to another exciting episode of Carson's Kanye Crusade. And on this episode, we're going to be doing a first in this series, a sequel album. Now, Kanye's not really known for making direct sequels to some of his albums. Usually he likes to try to change it up with every other album, but this time he wanted to do a direct follow-up with Vultures 2. Now, Carson, I know last time was not necessarily a fun listening experience, listening to Vultures. So, going into this sequel, what do you hope can be improved upon, besides everything? You can't say
Man,
that.
I hope it's at least bad enough that it wraps around this time.
All right, and that's perfectly fair. And we have a special guest today.
Hi, I am Brian. I was planning to listen to Vultures before I go here, but I did not, so I'm
So
going
this is
straight into the sequel. I
have
can't
you
tell if this will
listened?
be a good thing or a bad thing, but we will
Have
see.
you listened to Vultures 2 at all, or is this like a completely blind listening?
Completely
Same.
blind. I know
Oh boy.
I know some Kanye songs here and there, but I don't know. They might be in Vultures too, they might not be. It'll also be an experience on my end.
Well, this will be fun. My name's Bryce. I've known Carson for a good while now. I'd say maybe probably like 5-ish years, probably a little more. You know, we've been doing this. We started all the way back at college dropout, and here we are. We got 2 more after this one. I think definitely with Vultures 2. I won't spoil too much about it, but I definitely think it might be a little bit more enjoyable than Vultures 1. I should also
Interesting.
mention I will have to send you another song because like just recently, like as of like 2 weeks ago, one of the songs got removed off of this album. So it'll be another Vultures 1 situation. So I will have to send you the song that got removed.
May I ask why it got removed?
It's mainly due to like label disputes. Usually whenever Kanye songs get removed off their streaming platforms, it's mainly due to rights issues. He has had a little rocky history when it comes to legal disputes with sampling, whether he has to change it or just the song doesn't get released entirely, or in some cases the song releases and then it gets removed because sampling issues. Most prevalent on this one and the next album, but that is a conversation for another day. But do we have any other thoughts before we jump into this album?
Ah, yes, the all-important icebreaker. What are
What's
our
up?
thoughts on Aldi? We
I
asked this
like to shop
question.
there.
I also like to shop there.
I also do too. It's not nearby. It's cheap. You gotta bring your own bag, but everything come at a cost. I like it.
Well, Kanye also likes to shop at Aldi. We learned that on the previous album.
No way.
Hey, I know, crazy. He likes to shop at Aldi and Walgreens and eating Papa John's.
Thank you, just like me.
He is. He's literally us, the rapper.
Yes, we're all Kanye.
All right. Well, we don't have anything else to say, do we?
I don't have anything.
Me too, Let's
Well,
jump
then
right into it.
I concur. Let's jump
Let's
into
go.
this lovely album with the first track, Slide. Well, that was Slide. What'd you think of that track, Carson?
That was surprisingly good.
All right, so you like that track. You like that a lot better than Vultures One's opening track.
Definitely.
All right. What did you enjoy about that track?
I think mostly it's the instrumental. It is definitely mostly the instrumental. Even though it is
You did.
basically the THX sound on loop, it kind of goes hard.
All right, that's fair. You're not a fan of Kanye's flow on this track, really?
Yeah, I regret to inform you that Kanye's rapping ability is still missing.
Yeah. That is definitely a thing that is still present on this project. Normally, Brian for Kanye, he usually has it, but these past the last album, maybe last two, I would say, he's kind of slipping. Trust me, he's not like this normally. But what did you think of that track?
I thought it was interesting. First minute, I'll be honest, I wasn't a big fan, but more like listen to him like, maybe this beat is kind of fire.
Okay.
Yeah?
I I also thought that track was like pretty fine, I would say. I
Yeah.
definitely agree that it is better than Vultures One's opening track. Definitely has like a lot more upbeat tempo. And when I was listening to it, I was wondering like, is this the official version? Because one seemed a lot longer, and two, I noticed like some production elements that are different, horns, and it is a lot longer. Like on Spotify, it's 3 minutes and 16, and that was almost 4 minutes. So, not that I'm complaining, I enjoyed the horns, but for the one we listened to, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because this album, when it first released, was very bad production wise. This started a very terrible trend where Kanye releases his albums like modern video games, and that he patches them later on and tries to fix them when they're busted as shit when it first
Dang.
released. Unfortunately, that carried over into the next album after this, and I would even say maybe this current album that just released, it might be patching it like a fucking video game.
Is there like a patch notes like once a month on these albums?
Mainly, it's people on the wiki documenting changes. You don't really, he doesn't be like, hey guys, I'm on Instagram. Here's the patch notes for Vultures 2. Hope you enjoy them. It's like buffs and nerfs to certain songs to fucking make them better or worse. Well, I would say mostly better. He doesn't really make songs worse whenever he updates them. The only times it does get worse is whenever songs get removed, but that's besides the point. And back to the original point, I thought that track was alright. Definitely a better start than the first album.
Counter argument. Removing tracks from Vultures 1 cannot possibly make it worse.
Yeah, I would agree for an album like that. It could make it a little better enjoyable experience, but say if he did like updates to albums like 808s or Twisted Fantasy or Yeezus, and they like just like made changes that didn't make sense and or made it worse by like removing songs and stuff like that. I think like that would be very unprofessional. But for where we're at right now, changes definitely need to happen, in my opinion. But if we do not have anything else to say about that track, we shall move on to the next song, which is Time Moving Slow.
Reach for my cock.
Well, that was Time Moving Slow. What'd you think of that track, Carson?
Well, I think a few things.
All right.
I think it was mostly good, except for whatever was going on in the middle there. Didn't like that too much.
Like the distorted microphone sound?
Yeah, and whatever variety of noises were being made in said microphone.
That's fair.
The piano kind of reminds me a bit of Persona.
All right. Is it just like, I'm trying to think, what could that remind you of? Like, is it any specific song?
I don't know, it's just the tone and the cadence.
So what you're saying, it doesn't remind you of the Velvet theme, which also sounds like Ham. Watch the Throne. Who could this beat?
I was like 80% asleep, and then I was asking myself, why the hell is Area of the Soul playing?
What?
Why are we in the fucking Velvet Room?
Area of the Soul? What?
Is that a Persona joke?
Wait, you think that the Velvet Room song sounds like that with the choir?
Perhaps.
What the fuck? Yeah, you need to go to bed after this, Ulster. You're thinking crazy. You're speaking crazy talk.
That is correct, it does not remind me of that.
Okay. I still don't know how you came up with that analogy, but
You know, your mind draws lots of connections whenever you're not very awake.
that's fair.
I can agree on that.
What would you think of this track?
I like this more than the first track, and same with Carson, the middle, especially like where he's like kind of humming. I don't know about that. I'm not waiting forward for that. But you know what? I like this song. Like, I can see myself hearing this song in my own time. Yeah, I don't get any Persona vibes, but I still like it.
And Kanye was rapping. Would you say that rapping is an improvement over the first one?
Yeah, not only better than the first song of this album, but better than the previous album in general.
Damn. You think just one song?
Yeah. If we keep doing what we've been doing for the last two tracks, we will at least get a better score than the previous album did.
All right. That's fair. I also thought that track was okay. I can't really see this album in a serious light because of how much this album has been clowned on and what it spawned afterwards with like how many memes and like terrible lyrics there are on this album that I just can't really like see it seriously. Like the line "reach for the popcorn, oops, that's my cock" has been kind of engraved in my head, and there's a bunch more on this album that has been like just engraved into my like shit post of like what this album did to Kanye West fans and like how it drove them insane. That's besides the point. That's only later in the album, really. I will point them out though and try to explain them to the best of my ability without completely spoiling the joke. But overall, I do think that track was perfectly okay. But if we do not have anything else to say, we'll move on to the next track, which is Field Trip. And this is the song that got removed recently off of streaming platforms. I was kind of surprised that it was on your little search engine. As for the reason it got removed, one of the artists, Don Tolliver, whole sure you might know, he was the guy who sung the hook on Moon on Donda. His label is sort of having a beef with Mr. West right now, and they're trying to like distance Don Tolliver from Kanye.
I
Yeah,
see.
so before we go on, what is this album cover? Who is this person?
I
Am I
believe.
missing a joke or yeah?
No. I think so. If my memory serves me correct, person in the photo, I believe that is Ty Dolla $ign's brother that is in prison for a crime he did not commit. Maybe, if my knowledge is correct. I do not know off the top of my head. The first Vultures album cover was just Kanye and his new wife, and she's just like basically butt ass naked for some reason. So I think this is definitely an improvement over the first cover.
I seem to recall you and Drew having quite the time editing that out.
Yeah, that was fun. But if we don't have anything else to say, we'll move on to Field Trip.
Please let this be a normal
Cheddar.
with a friend.
It's quiche.
Man, not mad. I'm just disappointed here.
Well, disappointed with that track, Carson. If you could enlighten us.
Now, for the last however long it's been, Ty has been the stronger of the two.
Okay, I know this is character development because I know you kind of hated him on the first Vultures, but you're starting to come around on him?
I didn't
Just
say
like
he
a
was
little bit?
good. I said he was doing a better job than Kanye for the most
I
part.
know, but
Those
it's
are two
character
different
development.
things.
All right.
In this case, yeah, I'll know what Ty was up to there.
Okay. What did you think of the end? I guess the final verse, you could say.
Not very good.
Would you say that kind of kills the song's momentum and vibe?
Honestly, most of the song I was either thinking about how the vocal work wasn't very good, or the "this is quiche" line, which I'm pretty sure you sampled for a certain Aldi edit.
Yes, that's another meme line. You know, this old cheddar is quiche. That is also another brain rotting line. Here's the most important question. What do you think of Kanye on this track? And I wonder what your answer will be.
I preferred him to Ty.
Okay, now I'm gonna propose a question, and when I ask this, you're probably gonna be like, okay, I know where this is going. Did something sound off about Kanye's verse?
Other than it being better than Ty, no. Although I suppose that is suspicious in hindsight.
You didn't like hear any like auditorial glitches?
Are you suggesting there may be a computer-generated warble?
I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying once you get an ear and start listening for that stuff, you start catching oddities. That's all I will say.
I take it that Kanye is not Kanye.
I can neither confirm nor deny that until this album is complete.
Dang.
I cannot influence your opinion on this until further notice.
Interesting.
What do you think of that track?
I initially saw, it's just Kanye. I was like, he can do high-pitched voices, but I seen that's a different dude, Ty.
Sorry. I was gonna say
Yeah.
the person doing the chorus, that is Don Tolliver, aka
Got it.
the person's label who is having a dispute with Kanye right now.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Well,
And when you're on like 70% of the song, you're like, okay, get him off. Get him the hell off. We don't want him on this garbage ass album. It's terrible.
I see. Well, I think that guy kind of ruined the song. It felt like very like a high pitch, like nails on the chalkboard. I'm like, yeah, what's this? And I like the Kanye rapping, but it's hard to tell if that's because that one other dude was worse or I don't know. I wasn't a big fan, I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't even ask about Playboy Cardi. That's your favorite rapper, Carson. The
Oh,
first verse.
no.
That was him. Yeah. What do you think about Playboy Cardi?
Playboy Cardi. He's like, now I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
You
But
don't
he
have
just
any
won't
witty
fucking go
comebacks?
away.
All right. Well, that's fair. I'm not personally a fan of Playboy Cardi myself, but that is a perfectly fair opinion to have. My overall thoughts, I think that track's perfectly fine. Dare I say, it could be good. I've heard versions of this track that actually try to fix it and make it work without the terrible Kodak Black verse at the end and actually giving good artists, better artists, time to shine. But unfortunately, that did not come to fruition. And I do think that track could be good. It's just that stuff surrounding it ruins it for me.
I could definitely believe in a world where that track doesn't suck. The instrumental's alright. But the problem
I like
is,
the instrumental a lot.
we don't live in that world. This track does
Exactly.
suck.
It had potential.
That is true. But if we do not have anything else to say about that track, we shall move on to the next one, which is Fried.
I just wanted stains to know.
Well, speaking of things that continue to follow us around, Bryce, could you please be a kind gentleman and explain to Brian the carnival situation?
Carnival situation.
My memory serves me correct. There was a track on Vultures 1 that was quite popular during that album's release. Might call it a TikTok song. It had potential to be quite an enjoyable track, but it was ruined by the artists on it. And I'm guessing, if my memory serves me right, you enjoyed Carnival's beat. It's just that the content of the lyrics and how they were presenting him were bad.
Yeah, and this song is basically just that song, but again. On the one hand, I appreciate that's not quite as scratchy. On the other hand, it does feel a little watered down.
Okay. I did want to ask, what did you think of the vocal performance? Because I was like, okay, he's probably gonna hate this, like what Kanye and Try are trying to do.
I was mostly busy having flashbacks of Nom, but I don't think the vocals were that good.
It was pretty funny just hearing you be like, oh no. I thought like something happened with the stream or like your computer. That's why I was like, everything's good. We can still hear it.
I
But
just got Vietnam flashbacks.
but you did not enjoy that track.
Not really, no. I don't think anyone asked for a second carnival.
I would have to agree with you on that statement. Now, what did you think of that track, Brian?
I didn't love it. I also didn't hate it. Sounds like it's like a worse version of Carnival. So I don't really see the appeal of this song existing, I guess. I don't know who was screaming, but I think whoever did the scream did a bad job trying to like scream. I don't know, musically, but it didn't quite work out. I was like, wait, what? So I don't know. I don't
Oh,
hate it. I don't love it.
I was gonna say the people screaming. That was both Kanye and Kai, like doing
Oh,
the "Boy, don't play with me, you know I'm."
yeah, that.
I did a better take right there. I could have been on this album.
You could have should just like cut that segment out and you do that part and then it would have been amazing. What can I say?
So with the talent he has on this and on to two, I could dream big. I could definitely be on this album. I also thought that track was kind of middling, kind of a little ear grating, especially when Kanye and Ty try screaming. It just does not fit their vocal range at all, really. But I do not have anything else to say about that track. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, Brian, would you like to talk first on future songs since you're the closest thing to a blank slate that we have?
Sure. I go first and you got it.
All right. And that'll work out perfectly well. But if we don't have anything else to say, we'll move on to an interlude track. Surprisingly, we haven't had that in a hot minute. So we'll just play that and then we'll do the next song. All right?
Alright.
So we'll start out with this next track, which is Isabella, and then we'll move on to Promotion. That was Isabella and Promotion. Now, before we start, the version we listened to was the, I guess, reference track / leaked version with the artist called Lil Nas X. You might know him, Holscher, for making the song Old Town Road. Does that ring a bell?
It actually doesn't. I've never heard it before.
Damn. Well, I don't have any other big songs like that to reference, but normally that track is only like 8 seconds, but we listened to the song version, so I guess we'll start with that one. What'd you think of that track?
The first song, I don't know. I didn't have much of an opinion on it. It was kind of catchy, but like, I guess, I don't know. I was trying to say I don't love it or hate it, but that's the same review I gave the last one, and I liked it way more than that. It was kind of catchy. I'll say that. I'll say, I kind of liked it. That's my review.
Alright, fair enough. I mean, certainly it's not the worst we've seen out of Kanye, but I'll give it a middle of the road. It's fine. The vocal work is fine. The instrumental is not that great. Bryce, your thoughts?
Probably have to agree with that one. Again, I do think just for the fact that, like you said, it's not very instrumentally or lyrically complex. I just think I kind of give that a little pass because it probably was just intended to be a sort of reference track and or just a work in progress. Wasn't necessarily ready, but I do think as a transitional song, you could say it's perfectly serviceable. That's all I got to say about the Isabella song. Now for Promotion, Brian,
Yes.
what'd you think of that track?
I'll be honest. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it. It feels like especially in the beginning, there's like, I would say too much auto-tune, and they weren't really like rapping or like singing like to the beat. They're just saying like one like long word, and there's because of the auto-tune, there's like 5 different ranges of it. And I was like, I don't know, I don't really vibe with this one, I'll be honest.
All right. Now, Carson, what did you think of Promotion?
I will have to agree with Brian's opinions here, because he is correct. That vocal work
All
Let's
right.
was
go.
not good. In fact, I might even say that it's bad.
Not a fan of Future and his like auto-tune rappy, mumbly vocals ish.
Nah, it's a little gross.
I do hate to break it to you, but he's going to be on this album and the next one a little bit more.
Crap.
So you might have to get used to him. Yeah,
Dang.
it's unfortunate. What did you think of Kanye referencing Good Life?
Didn't catch it.
The like we always do at this time. I go for mine. I've got to shine. Throw your hands up in the sky. You don't remember that from
I,
graduation?
funnily enough, there's not very many songs from Graduation that I re-listen to.
Damn.
Mostly I just re-listen to Homecoming and Bittersweet Poetry, and even those, not very much. The Kanye songs I listen to most actually are from Kids See Ghosts.
That's fair. Yeah, I do. That is another sort of annoying trend. Is like Kanye trying to reference older tracks. Like I know he has the, I guess, ability to. Like he's allowed to do that because he's made absolute classics. But usually when he's referenced previous songs, the actual song itself is pretty banger. Like on Otis from Watch the Throne. Whenever he was like flexing about him making Jesus walks, that worked there because Otis was also a banging track. This one, on the other hand, was not. It was kind of cookie cutter, you could say, and just not really good.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of a problem with modern Kanye, is he's just devolved into a generic rapper.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to see. And it's going to get even sadder, especially with this next track. But I didn't say that. If we do not have anything else to say about that track, we'll move on to the next one.
5:30.
Well, that was 5:30. Brian, what did you think of that track?
I'll be honest, I kind of liked it. It was it was like a chill sounding music. It kind of reminded me of like the Persona 3 background music because of like how chill it is. But as the music went on, there was like this high pitched like vocal in the middle or like in the end. I wasn't a big fan of that to be honest. And there's like a lot of Kanye like fast rapping near the end too. Wasn't a big fan of that. I felt like just cut the music for the first 70% and just publish that and it'll be better.
All right. I do have some choice words about that Persona comment later, but for now, I want to hear Carson's opinion on that track.
I agree with Brian on everything, although I don't really see the relation to Persona.
Yeah, I don't.
Saying.
I will also say, yeah, I agree. The start was strong, the end was pretty weak. However, I'd also like to temper that by saying I think the rapping and the instrumental were not a good fit for one another. We had good rapping, we had a good instrumental, they just didn't mesh nicely.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like, again, there's a whole story about that track. I'm just going to do it right now, I guess. So I'll give my thoughts on it, but I'll give like a little background on that track. That song was originally made during the Donda 2 era, which at this point was an unreleased album. And this was a noticeable fan favorite track from that era that Kanye decided, I'm just going to put this on Vultures 2 for the heck of it, because I don't have any other songs. He does that again later for another beloved unreleased track. When he first dropped this album, that ending part with him rapping, it was mostly just mumbling. He didn't basically finish the song before releasing it. Now, it was fine before because it was unreleased and it was still being worked on. You could excuse mumbling if you need to figure out lyrics later. You gotta have like the right tempo and vibe, I guess you could say. We could all agree with that, right?
I can.
Yeah.
So when he first released it in mumbling, people were quite upset because it's like, hey, you didn't finish this song, Kanye. You just had the unreleased version of this track. And if memory serves me correct, the original upload of this on Spotify was actually of lower quality than the YouTube leaked version for some reason. I don't know how he does it. Even though he owns the song and the masters, it was somehow lower quality.
Well,
No.
leave it to Kanye to mess things up.
Now, as we all heard, gentlemen, he was actually rapping that ending part, correct?
It
I
sure
did hear
was.
Well, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off now. That was not Kanye West rapping that ending. That was AI.
What?
Yeah, that is not Kanye rapping that ending. You can hear in the lyrics, if you listen closely, he's one, getting cut off before he finishes words, and two, he starts slurring some of the words when he's trying to like rap. Like if you go back when he's like, I agree with the Reddit says, he sounds like he's having a stroke because it's the AI saying it. And if you don't believe me, you can go back. We can do some deep dive analyzing, but that was AI. And I hate to break it to you, but that was not Kanye rapping that ending. And that's why I also said earlier on Field Trip to pay attention to what Kanye sounds like.
I thought I heard
He's
some
not-
odd cutoffs.
Yeah, so
Now that
Kanye using
said,
AI. Yeah,
we're 2 for 2 on the computer rapping better than he does.
also just
Man,
find
not
it.
gonna lie, yeah. It is pretty believable. I didn't realize until you said it, so I'll
Well, I
give
think
kudos to that at least.
I think it's just that one I've listened to a lot of Kanye, and I've also I wouldn't say trained on what to detect what is AI and what isn't, but once you start noticing like little oddities, like little glitches, you kind of have to second guess yourself. I wouldn't say fully using AI, but once he has been caught once using AI, you can't really trust anything new that he puts out because you always have that sneaking suspicion that it might just be the robots making it and not him. That's also kind of a reason why I don't like that track. I know that's like the whole like oh AI cringe, which I mean I do still I think AI can be useful, but I think in terms of song creation, like art, you shouldn't really use it. And I feel like an artist like Kanye using AI kind of disappointing.
All I'm going to say is it's been doing a better job than he has, which may say more about him than it does about it.
Yeah, and I think that's also just another aspect of it. It's like AI just like doing his work for him. He doesn't want to try. He's gotten complacent, you could say.
AI's doing his job.
I mean, I guess so, but it's just disappointing to see an artist known for creating some of the greatest hip hop songs to make soulless AI trash. You know what I mean?
True. Even if he makes another good track in the future, I'm like, wait, is it him or did the AI models get like crazy good for like the past couple of weeks? You never know.
Exactly. That's my little rant about 5:30. Do we have any other thoughts?
I don't have anything.
Me too.
Well, hopefully the next track will bring up the mood a little more. Without further ado, we move on to the next track, which is Dead.
The heavy is dead. Yes, I am dead. Why is the heavy dead?
Well, that was Dead. Brian, did that track make you not want to be living anymore and be dead?
Definitely. What can I say? The beginning had a lot of auto-tune, and after that, I feel like Kanye found like four good beats and repeat that for like a minute or two. Did something different, and you found like another like good four beats. Repeat that. I felt like the song like I feel like I was playing for a very long time. So I don't know. Overall, not a big fan.
All right, Carson, what'd you think of Dead?
I wish the song didn't exist.
You wish it was dead and buried?
I do.
Now, why's that?
Well, the instrumental was caught lacking, and the vocal work just ain't there. We have neither lyrics nor good sound.
I would have to agree. I don't really like that track either. That was also another one that was like really baffling to listen to on launch when the album first dropped because it felt like the like a little later in the song beat weren't matched. It was very jarring. Also, I don't know if it's just the stream, but it's also like it seems really distorted, like the beat and the vocals. It just
Yeah, I
seemed
felt
very
like that on my I felt like that on my end too, but I couldn't tell if it's the stream or if that's part of the music. Like, I'll believe
Yeah.
it's part of the music. I'll believe it's the stream. So I get
I
that
just
goes.
think it's part
Yeah.
of the music, because I heard it too.
Oh dang.
So that's another thing they didn't fix. Just bad production, very distorted. Tisk tisk tisk. But that is all that I have to say about that track. If we do not have anything else to say about that, we move on to the next one, which is Forever Rollin'.
They see me rolling.
Well, that was Forever Rollin'. What'd you think of that track, Brian?
I don't know. I felt similar to like the previous song where I don't know, beats were kind of monotonous throughout the song and a lot of use of auto-tune. And it felt like the vocals were doing its own thing, it wasn't really matching up to the background music, so overall, I'll say I'm not a big fan of it.
That's fair. And I've sort of noticed, are you just not like necessarily a fan of autotune in general, or
Very obvious auto-tune. When Kanye like raps about like his auto-tune, when he's like naturally rapping, at least in this album, it sounded pretty fine, but feels like he's relying too much on the auto-tune for his music in general.
safe to say, Carson, that he would not enjoy 808s and heartbreaks that much?
Oh dang.
Here's the thing. Yes, it is certainly the case that in previous albums, Kanye did lean very heavily on autotune, it was obvious. But, that said, that use of autotune allowed Kanye to, first of all, do things that could not be done with a plain voice. Autotune is almost an instrument unto itself. Second of all, this is not that.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I was just wondering what his stance on it, because, Kanye has sort of dabbled in autotune ever since 808s, having little sprinkles here and there. Well, in the case of 808s, that was the entire point of that album.
Well,
But yeah.
I guess if it's done well, I'll be fine with it, but as Carson said, this ain't the case.
That's fair. That's not how you really feel about this track as well, Carson. Not good.
I feel very conflicted about this track. We had what is, in my opinion, a very good instrumental, and the rapping started really strong. I thought we were in for a good one here. And then, a few seconds in, it just fell off so hard. Big letdown. This could have been great.
Yeah, I would say that this sort of track's kind of whatever, a little boring. It did give me like my ears to perk up a little bit whenever he said peanut butter. That's another stupid meme lyric that people have been like making shit posts about. I'll show you a couple shit posts after we're done, Carson, to show you the insanity that this album left on the Kanye community. But yeah, I do think besides the peanut butter line, that track is nothing special in my opinion. But if we do not have anything else to say about that track, we will move on to the next song, which is Bomb.
I don't like what I see in the artist credits there.
What's wrong? What do you mean?
Oh shit, there's two of them?
There's a bomb strapped to my chest! It's gonna explode!
Okay.
You alright, Carson?
Brian, I'm sorry you had to hear that.
I forgive you.
So, I could probably guess what Carson's gonna say, so I'm gonna just ask Brian, what did you think of that track?
I don't think it was that great, but it was very oddly catchy. I'll give him that. I don't know why he put some random like Japanese lyrics, but I don't know if it worked or not, but it was a little catchy.
That is his daughter that was
Oh.
doing most of that rapping. This isn't the first time being on a Kanye album. Vultures one. One of the worst tracks was
Just
Talking. What do you think about Miss Northwest's debut into rapping, aka Kanye West's daughter?
She might want to look into a different career path.
She was on that. It was very grating.
I guess one more thing I'll add is mentioning Chicago. Is that someone's name or is that like the place Chicago?
That's the place in Illinois. Yes, Chicago.
Okay, that's what I figured. I'm not the biggest Chicago guy, so I guess that's that.
Well, that's where Kanye grew up. Chicago, Illinois.
Thanks.
Yeah, rep his city.
Yeah, not the biggest Chicago guy, so
Well, with that out of the way, Carson, did you write that track? He's going cuckoo crazy.
I think Carson is.
We've hit a new low. So first and foremost, can you, either of you, point in that track and tell me where Kanye was? Or Ty, for that matter.
He was not on that track.
That is a great question. Come to think of it, did I hear Kanye?
No, you did not. And that's the original version of that track. He updated that one as well on Spotify. And I really wanted to hear the updated version, but I think I don't want to torture you by listening to an updated version of that track. But I'll save my piece.
Man, I could be playing Persona 1 right now.
Dang.
You could be playing Resident Evil 3 Nemesis right now.
That would actually be pleasant. Yeah, that was bad.
So
We don't like to see Northwest on any tracks ever.
that's fair. That is fair. She's not great.
The instrumental was also bad.
Yeah, she's not great of a track.
It's one of those things I think Kanye could have kept to himself and we would have been better for it.
I would agree.
So Bryce, what are your thoughts?
I'm in the same boat. I think that track's pretty bad. Like, really bad. I mentioned earlier, he updated that one. Whenever he updated on Spotify, he added another artist to it. A rapper going by the name of Miles. Now, Miles is a very, very lovely rapper. He makes such banger tracks like Indiana Jones and Martin Luther King, Four Wheeler. He's a genuinely great artist. I would play some of his music right now, but I don't know if I can legally. But he was on that track. If you want to, we could listen to his snippet. He is only at the beginning, and you can judge it on your own merits. That's the only positive, to see Miles on a Kanye West track. It is both very funny, but also very sad. From the man who was able to bring some titans of the music industry together, being resorting to bringing in shitpost rappers. It's kind of depressing, but it's still funny, so it kind of balances out.
I'm just waiting for Young Gravy to show up.
I don't think Kanye has that low of self-esteem / artistic degradation to where he's like, what would be a good idea? I'm going to put Young Gravy on my next album.
Mr.
I don't think
West,
he's...
if you're listening to this episode, Put Young Gravy on your next album, and my life is yours.
That monkey's paw was gonna curl really bad if that happened. But if we do not have anything else to say about that track,
One question about this track.
what's up?
How is this compared to like the other songs in Vultures 1?
Well, Vultures 1 was kind of just depressing and bad. This is objectively worse, I would say. But like Holscher said at the beginning, there's some funny elements to this. There's some comedy to this madness. So
There
it
is.
becomes a little bit slightly enjoyable. Objectively, this is bad. This is worse than Vultures, but subjectively, I'm enjoying myself a lot more. I don't know about you, Carson.
Well, I'm neither screeching nor groaning, and I think I was doing a lot of that by this point last album.
That's fair.
Got that going for us.
Not a very hard bar to set.
I will say that if we weren't doing this for a recording and it were just me listening to this album on my own, I might have put it down and never come back.
This would have been like alright, I'm done listening to this album.
Yeah,
That is perfectly fair.
but that's all I have to say about that.
Me too.
If we don't have anything else, we will move on to the next track, which is River.
I'm tired of Kanye. I'm tired.
Well, that was River. Would you say that as an improvement, Brian, over the previous track?
I definitely would say that it is improvement. I see, how it was like first started. I kind of thought it was kind of monotonous, and I didn't think like the rap quite matched the music. But as the song goes on, especially the second half, it's kind of auto-tuned, but I do like the vocals. So I think first half and second half, I was like, you know what? I kind of forward with it. I like it.
All right, that's fair. What do you think of that track, Carson?
I think, first and foremost, who gave Kanye a good track?
That is a good question. Maybe Young Thug.
I don't
He's
think
like,
Kanye
free him.
gave him a good track.
That's why he's like, free Young Thug. He made this good song. I need to get him out of prison so he can make more songs that are good for my album. So you enjoyed that track?
I did. My only complaint is that little switch up in the middle. It was a bit jarring, but once it set in, it did improve the song.
I would agree. I do think the switch up's a little off, a little odd. But I also think that track was perfectly fine. Dare I say, maybe even good. On a good day, I might actually like that track.
Yeah, I think this was a pretty strong showing from Mr. West. I would like to see more of this and less of what we've been seeing.
Yeah, I'd say this is the best track in this album so far. So yeah, hopefully, would it be uphill or downhill or
Well,
just plain? We'll see.
well, we only got like 5 tracks left, so maybe you could pull it back.
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe. But we will move on to the next track, which is Forever. Not to be confused with Forever Rolling. Just Forever Ever. Well, that was Forever Rolling. What'd you think of that track? God damn it, no. That was
I like-
Forever. Fuck. Why would you have this? God. Why would you have the same name for 2 songs that have the exact same title? There's one extra word. Damn it. What'd you think of Forever, Brian?
I will say it is a downhill. I like the previous song more, but I don't know. I felt like this one, it wasn't my favorite, but of all like the non-favorite songs I've heard this album, it is like my favorite one. But I say it's all right. That's my final verdict.
I think that's a very
Just
good way of
alright.
describing it.
Yeah.
I think we had pretty strong instrumental. Kanye had a good flow going there, although I think his lyrics were a little weak. I didn't really like that high-pitched synthetic instrument that much that kind of appeared every once in a while then disappeared. Like, other than that, not bad. We've seen worse.
I agree. We definitely have seen worse, but we've also seen better.
That is also true.
And I think that also describes my thoughts exactly on that track as well. It's just fine. I feel like I've said that a lot about this album. I just don't really have anything interesting to say about it. I think it's just whatever.
You know, that's one of a handful of tracks on this album that I would maybe consider listening to a second time. Like, it's got that going for it. Couldn't say that about
That-
First Vultures.
You know, that and Bomb are definitely the best songs off this album so far. As I say, as I like the crack pipe.
This can't be good for me, but I feel great.
And Mr. Harris,
But-
what happens
Yeah.
whenever we light the crack pipe?
We smunk it. And it gives us superpowers. We can climb
Precisely.
the walls and shoot webs. You may call me Spider-Man. You might also
I
call me
believe it.
the homeless heroin addict. And I need to go now.
So we'll be back next time with Yeezus.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. So yeah, if I don't have anything else to say about that track, and if you gentlemen do not have anything else to say, we move on to the next one, which is Husband.
Daddy's home and he's got his cigarettes.
Well, that was Husband. Very odd track. What do you think of that, Brian?
I think the best way how I can describe it is that I thought the song was gonna like, I thought no, it felt like the song was always like on its introduction. I was like waiting for it to start, and just kind of ended. I'll say, it is a pretty chill song, but a little underwhelming in my opinion.
Carson, what do you think of that track?
I think we started alright, but then Kanye went off beat, and that makes me grumpy.
Yeah, that's fair. You have any thoughts?
Only the same
I don't know,
thought I
felt
have
like
about a lot of this album.
yeah, I felt like Kanye's pretty offbeat this album.
Yeah, that is certainly a big issue for him, with both this album and the previous one. Prior to that, he did a pretty good job. Not really
Yeah.
sure what happened there. Yeah, I think with a little more effort, this song could have been something alright at least. But it's not, so it's bad.
Yeah, I don't really like that track either. I think that is kind of just like, why would you even make this? It doesn't really even have like a flow. It's not like emotional enough to get you invested. Just not really good at all.
It felt like a filler song. Like we needed like this amount of songs, and he was like, "Oh crap, I need like one more. I'll just make this real quick or something."
Yeah. Ugh. But if we do not have anything else to say, we will move on to the next track, which is Lifestyle. Well, that was Lifestyle. What do you think of that track, Brian?
It had similar vibes to the previous song, but I felt like it had a little bit more personality to it. But I feel like I don't know, there isn't too much. I feel like you're just singing to the same beats over and over, and there wasn't really like the song kind of got boring pretty fast, is my opinion on it.
All right. Carson, what do you think of that track?
It had a couple things going for it. I think the instrumental was not too bad. There were a couple moments where the vocal work kind of synced up nicely. I think the fact that I'm praising that may say a lot about this album and this song. I further think that the lifestyle is dragging me down and it makes me want to run away. Speaking of run away, I'm not impressed by what Kanye did there.
What did he do there?
He made a cheap reference to Runaway.
Well, it's been a trend recently, Carson. I've been pointing them out, but you're the one who pointed that out first. I didn't even recognize it. It wasn't processing in my brain. So, good catch.
Yeah, not pleased with that one.
Yeah, it's like, hey, remember these awesome songs I made? Yeah, I wish I was listening to them, Kanye. Can you please make songs how you used to? Can the old Kanye West come back, please? Where is Mr. West? We need him. Wake up, Mr. West. I feel like we're
today,
deja
Mr.
vu.
West. Please no more.
Please no more. Deja vu. We might be saying this again on the next album, but it's just not here for there. I thought that track was alright. I feel like, again, that does have potential. I don't think Lil Wayne was good for that track. I feel like a lot of his lyrics are kind of just, I wouldn't say gross, but just like uninspired and just like kind of nasty. It's just not good. Doesn't really fit with the vibe of the song, really.
I agree.
I concur. Isn't Lil Wayne one of the lizards?
Lil Wayne, yes, Lil Wayne is one of the lizard people, as you might say. He's like a 5'4" reptile, high off his mind on lean.
Because I seem
Not
to
like
recall
Kendrick, though.
him sounding very lizardly on a previous album.
He was on 808s and Heartbreaks. See You in My Nightmares.
Yeah, that's the guy you said sounded like a lizard.
Yes.
Didn't sound quite as lizardly there.
Well, that was whenever he was like crazy high off the drugs. Now he's experiencing the side effects of doing those crazy drugs, like 15 years later. Like, jump, dry. I can't even do I can't do a good Lil Wayne impression. That's how it'd sound like if I was high off codeine and cough syrup. But if we don't have anything else to say, we'll move on to the next track, which is Sky City.
I'ma test the sky.
That was Sky City. What'd you think of that track, Brian?
I'll say I didn't hate it. It was kind of decent, I'll say. Can't tell if that's because if the rest of the songs were kind of mid this album or not. But what I didn't like was like the weird segment in the middle. I still trying to decide if that's not good or whatnot, but it definitely didn't fit the music. It just kind of came out of nowhere, and then the music just came back to how it was in the beginning, like nothing ever happened. With like, I felt like they didn't really blend in together. So, yeah, that's my
All
verdict, I guess.
right. Now, Carson, what do you think of that track?
Gonna give Mr. West a nice little gold star with a "You tried" written on it.
All right. You think you did well on this track?
I don't think he did very well, but I think he tried.
All right.
And at least he tried. That's more than we can say for some tracks on this album.
All right.
I also noticed the funny Penthouse lyric.
Yeah. Penthouse is another funny joke about this album. That line.
Also, are we going to address the elephant in the room?
I mean, I could address it if you want me to. I can get a little story. This is another story time song if you guys don't mind.
I don't mind.
All right, story time. So, in another installment of Kanye needing to put out songs on his album but doesn't want to make them again, he decided to grab a unreleased song from a scrapped album that he did in 2018. Now, this album was known as Yandi. This was a pretty big album. He did like whole promotion tours, music drops, the whole shebang. Didn't release the album. This is one of his most prolific parts where he's teases an album but doesn't release it. And one of the tracks that leaked, because this album did leak the day it was supposed to release on Apple Music, one of the tracks was called City in the Sky. Slight name change, but people really liked it. They were like, hey, it sounds pretty good. You know, Kanye could finish it. It could be a pretty awesome song, one could say. And so, when people first saw, because I believe it was called City in the Sky originally, when this album first dropped, people were like, holy shit, he actually dropped it. This is awesome. And then people listened to it. And then it came to another realization. Gentlemen, a second AI has hit Kanye West. That first verse was not Kanye. And I say that because that was a reference verse from another artist. And you can find the original verse by that artist. And all Kanye did was slap his AI voice over it. So you might have to take away that gold star, Carson.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say.
You can say AI tried, or whatever model they used.
Sam Altman tried.
Sam Altman tried indeed.
Sam Altman needs. Oh, I'll say that on YouTube. Yeah, I think even despite the AI, I think that track could be great. I do like Ty on this track, you know, but that's mainly because this is for an entirely different album and the vibe of what Yandi was supposed to be versus this piece of crap album. But other than the AI comments, I don't really have that much to say about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But if we do not have anything else to say, gentlemen, we'll move on to the final track off this extraneous, whatever the fuck the name is. I'm tired. This album. We'll move on to My Soul.
I just wanted the soul.
That was My Soul. What'd you think of that track, Brian?
It was a track of all time. What can I say? I feel like the first half was, well, nothing really new to say. I feel like it wasn't bad, I'll say, you know. I think it was, in the terms for this album, I think it was kind of decent. I saw the song ended, and then it just kind of did its own thing afterwards. I don't know, I felt like they slopped two songs into one. And I don't know, I didn't like the second half as much as the first half, so overall, I'll say it's pretty underwhelming finish to this album.
Carson, what'd you think of that track?
I think it was interesting, but I hesitate to call it good.
Okay, what was interesting about it?
Mostly that swapping in the ending. I don't think it was good, but it was interesting.
It was something.
It was something.
I'm
It
also in the same
least
thing.
distinguished it from all the generic stuff that we saw for the rest of this album.
I would definitely have to agree.
Yeah, I
What
was
do you
like,
think?
yeah, I was like, Carson, I think the song ended, but you know, wait 2 more seconds to play it again, I'm like, oh wait, this is part of the song, so I don't know. It is interesting to say the least.
Yeah, it's just kind of a whatever ending to a not very particularly exciting nor great album. But we did finish it.
Indeed.
Now it's time for the ranking. So I know this is your first time, Brian, but on a
Yes.
scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate Vultures 2?
I'll say a solid 5. I think one song I kind of did like, the rest, it was either not good or kind of forgettable. But you know, I wasn't in pain listening to it, like how Carson explained Vultures 1. So I think a 5 is like a good score for that.
All right. Now, Carson, what would you rank Vultures 2 on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm deciding. It's either going to be a 4 or a 5. Because I'm inclined to say it's about as flawed as Donda is. This could be something very good, but it would require some serious effort to fix it.
Okay. I'd,
Let's see.
I'd say a Donda defender tier. I feel like the main problem with Donda was just bloat. Like, yeah, Donda had the tracks to be a great album. It's just that I would say, from what we've been listening from Vultures 1 and 2, Donda looks fucking great in comparison. The good songs, at least on Donda. I'd rather listen to those any day of the week than anything from Vultures 1 and 2. But this one, I would agree with you that it would have to be some serious reworking in order for it to actually be decent.
To be fair, this album had like 3 good songs. That's something. It's
It
more
sure
than the
is.
first Vultures had.
Out of curiosity, what did you get the first Vultures?
1.
Oh, well, it's 5 times better according to your score, or 5 times better. So,
I was very upset with first Vultures.
He was. It was quite humorous. He had a very it was a very revisionist episode. Yeezus appreciation episode. I'll even say that. That was his least favorite album. Now it's a 6. And I take that as a dub in my book. But so, there was improvement on this album.
Hey, speaking of revision,
What's up?
might I do a
Another
little bit of that?
So soon? Alright, well,
I
have
feel
at
a
it.
little bad for putting... Oh shit, what's it called? I can never remember its name.
Which album? Like what number?
The second one.
Late registration?
Yeah. Our solitary hater. Okay, he was right.
Me.
He was correct. That album is pretty good, actually. And I feel like a 7 does not do it justice, especially with how other things are scaled. Let's give it an 8.
Okay. Alright.
Not a very
so,
high 8. It's a lower 8 than the other 8s. But it's going to be an 8.
Alright, so we're bumping up late registration. Alright. I also re-listened to late registration since I bought the physical CD of it, and I was like, damn, why did I not like this album that much? This album's pretty nice. I do like a good amount of tracks on this album.
I would
I
also
respect that.
like to drag Graduation down to an 8.
Oh, damn.
Reason being, not because it's a bad album. I really like all the 8s. But because I vastly prefer Yay and 808s and Dark Twisted Fantasy. And I think Graduation is about the same level as College Dropout and Kids See Ghosts and everything else I put in the 8s.
Okay.
Look, it's still very good. I just don't think it's quite top of the pile good.
Well, yeah, that's pretty fair.
And I really want to raise Kids See Ghosts up ever so slightly, but I know it's not actually good enough for that. It might actually be my favorite now. Maybe.
Really?
I know I can't give it a 9. It's not good enough to be a 9. 808s and Yay and Dark Twisted Fantasy are all much better albums, but it might be my favorite.
Well, that is definitely interesting revision, I would say. I feel like that's gonna happen these next 2 albums for where Kanye goes as an artist, but that is an interesting revision of where you rank these albums. That was Vultures 2. Do we have any other closing thoughts on that album as a whole?
There was a thing you said you were going to show us, right?
Oh, that I don't remember what was. Oh, I was gonna show you Kanye, like shit posts
Oh, the
for
peanut
what this
butter.
album did. I can show you after. We'll show you after the recording. They're stupid, but
Nah, let's show them during the recording. A little bit of a bonus.
all right, fine. I'll show
bonus
I'll-
segment.
bonus segment, and
Not the first bonus segment. Probably won't be the last.
I'm trying to because people have also made like shit post songs. I found one. Okay. I will stream.
Alright, I will cease to stream.
So, here's the first one. This is one of the big people. Yeezy Travis. Yeezy Travis was a big Kanye shitpost account back when Vultures 2 was out. Like, I'm gonna try to find some other ones, but do you want me to play? Oh, fuck. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I bought a penthouse in OD, and what they do for you is they give you I bought a
That one.
It's the first of the I brush my teeth in. They not like cheddar. It's key.
Like again, this.
Yo, I linked up with Ye for the album Aldotopia. It's lit, man. You gotta listen to it. Yo,
Just like.
Kanye, give us 3 things that are hairy. OD, OD, OD. Kanye, give us.
Like, it's just like this stuff is some of this is just brain rotting. Like, just for a closer, we're gonna play one of my favorite shitpost songs, and we'll do a ranking of it. Can't do that one yet, but this is one of my favorite ones from this era. Hurricane by Kanye West. If it was on Vultures 2. Elsha, do you remember Hurricane from Donda? Well, we're gonna listen. We'll do a ranking of this. We'll do a review of what this sounds like, and then we'll call it there. I found this song very funny. So, without further ado, here is Hurricane by Kanye West if it was on Vultures 2.
So it's getting progressively shittier, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the kind of the point. Well, that was Hurricane if it was on Vultures 2. What do you think of that track?
I
I've
don't
heard the
think-
first one, but you know, as Carson said, it got worse and worse. So I figured
Well,
that's a
yeah.
joke. Just like
Yeah, that's
Lot
the
of-
joke.
yeah,
Just like it gets worse and
just like
worse.
Vultures too.
Carson, what do you think of that track?
I do agree with the sentiment that tracks on Vultures 2 generally get weaker as they go on. However, I don't think Vultures 2 is that bad for the most part. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not that good of an album, but it's not that bad.
That's fair. It is sort of like, I guess it's over exaggerating, but it's still pretty funny, and it kind of gets its point across of like the most annoying trappings of, I guess, the Vultures era Kanye. You know, the hooligans, kind of just overproduced beat, which is kind of funny because that wasn't even the original Hurricane. That was the Yandi version of that track. You know, the AI Kanye just mumbling on his second verse without saying anything. It's just, you know, it's a little goof track. But I think that should wrap it up for Vultures 2. I had a good time. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. And until next time,
Indeed.
we will listen to Kanye's second sequel album, Donda 2. So stay tuned for that.